their dating lives. After writing 6 books, appearing on national television and radio, and being interviewed by FHM magazine and many other publications, I can tell you this. I know the exact things you need to say and do to flip a woman's emotional switches and make her feel into you. Not in a let's be friends kind of way. I'm talking about making a woman feel gut-level romantic chemistry, like you're the guy she's destined to meet and be with. You see, for years, I was the go-to coach for men who wanted to learn how to improve their dating lives. I was known as the guy who'd figured out how to crack the code when it came to creating fast attraction with women. I knew the loopholes in the female mind that make it easy to win them over to your side without rejection. This is stuff that 97% of guys never figure out. As for my own dating situation, let's just say I did pretty well and I enjoyed a lot of variety. Back then, I had no interest in settling down. I just wanted no strings attached fun. Now, you might think guys who are good with women don't get dumped, right? They don't get their hearts ripped out of their chests and stomped on and wind up begging their girlfriends to take them back. But that's what happened to me, because one day I got shot. Not like that. I mean by Cupid's arrow. I fell hopelessly head over heels in love with a girl named Michelle, who was everything I could have asked for, and even more. But after a while, the passion began to fade. She wasn't looking at me the same way anymore. She'd get annoyed at me over the smallest things. But I really loved this girl, so I tried to work things out with her. And then she went cold on me, canceling plans with me at the last minute, taking days to return my text messages and calls, and then she dumped me with a message sent to my Facebook inbox. It hit me like a Mike Tyson uppercut. She said a bunch of stuff about needing space and maybe it's better if we're just friends and needing time to be alone to sort out how she felt. I panicked and sent a reply. I told her we should meet up and talk. We could work this out. Then I texted her, called her, but no response. For the next 3 days, dead silence. I would lie in bed at night, staring at the ceiling, obsessing about her, questioning why and how this could have happened. I wanted to know if there was some other guy she wasn't telling me about. Just the thought of her having sex with another man was driving me crazy. So I did everything I could think of to try to get back the relationship I had with her. I sent her more text messages, which she didn't answer. I left long, rambling messages on her voicemail, which I regretted doing as soon as I hung up. I contacted her friends to ask for their help and to try to find out if she was dating someone else. This totally backfired on me. I showed up at places where I knew she would be to try to strike up a conversation with her. Another mistake that only made the situation worse. I even suggested to her that we could just be friends. I really just wanted her to agree to see me. But when we did meet up, it was awkward, I didn't know what to say, and we'd wind up arguing about past problems. I remember one night being at my lowest point. I was sitting in a bar with my best friend Jay, drowning my sorrows in cheap beer, checking my phone every 2 minutes to see if she'd sent me a reply, and my friend Jay looked me in the eye with a mixture of pity and disgust, and he said, "Dean, what's the matter with you? You're this well-known dating coach and so-called expert on women. I've seen you coach guys who couldn't get a date to save their lives, and you showed them how to become confident and fun and date women who would have been totally out of their league before. And now you're crying in your beer because you can't figure out how to get back a girl you already had?" I wasn't listening. I was staring at the ball game on TV and sucking down another beer. But then Jay said the magic words that shocked me out of my stupor. He said, "Dean, you got her to fall in love with you the first time around. How hard can it be to make her feel that way again?" That was my aha moment. What he said made perfect sense. I'd gotten her to fall for me once, and I knew her better than any other man. I used to know how to make her smile in her adorable way and look at me like I was her superhero. I knew our little inside jokes that always made her laugh. I knew what she loved to do in bed, the secret spot that drove her wild. And I knew her soft spots too, the stuff about herself she hid from the rest of the world but confided in me. I had every advantage over the other guys who were trying to date her, but she wasn't giving me a chance to patch things up. So I thought, what if I could come up with a step-by-step method for re-attracting a woman, for making her pull a reverse and want to get you back, even though she told herself that it was over. I went back and studied all of the attraction methods and systems I'd learned back when I was single and trying to get a handle on my own dating life. I reread the best-selling books I'd written after becoming an expert on attraction and seduction to figure out how attraction techniques could be reverse engineered and turned into re-attraction techniques to get a woman back. I poured through the hundreds of pages of notes I'd taken during the years I spent coaching guys to become more successful with women, and in some cases, to get back with the women they lost. I also studied every book on relationship dynamics and human psychology that I could get my hands on. And I tracked down relationship experts, therapists, and even marriage counselors to ask them about the hundreds of couples they'd worked with and the best possible strategies for guys like us to win our exes back and not mess things up for good. After a while, the pieces of the puzzle finally started coming together. A set of patterns was revealed to me, and I realized there is a shortcut for you to recapture the magic and make your ex feel passionate about you again, to make her miss you, need you, and even fantasize about you. So I put this method to the test, and this is when something really interesting happened. My ex-girlfriend reached out to me. She called me late one night. She sounded like she'd been crying. She told me she'd been thinking about